time for FOMO, and today we are looking at AMD post its second quarter earnings with lots of analyst praise as far as I could see, but giving back some of its initial gains in real time. We're about $10 now off of session highs. So here to break down the entire report for us and everything the analysts are saying, I'd now like to welcome in Caroline Woods, senior markets correspondent for the network. So Caroline, this was objectively a good report, and I feel like it was a stark contrast right off the gate with Microsoft, which was lower, but as the session has gone on, we're paring back some of this strength. So walk us through these numbers.
Yes, unlike Microsoft, where we were really paying attention to the cloud revenue and that failed to impress, with AMD, we were really paying attention to a raised outlook in terms of AI chips, and it delivered, and we're seeing the stock rewarded today, getting a little break from the selling it had been seeing in July. Shares up about 3.5% right now, as you said, off highs, but still seeing a nice pop regardless, and bringing a bunch of other chip stocks with it. I mean, NVIDIA's up 11%, the Broadcom, Qualcomm, ASML, ARM, all seeing nice gains as well. In terms of AMD's numbers for Q2, posted adjusted EPS of 69 cents. That topped analyst expectations by 2 cents per share. Revenue, meanwhile, rose 9% to $5.83 billion. That also came in above analysts' expectations, as you can see there. Data center revenues, which includes sales of AI chips, was up 115% at $2.8 billion versus the $2.75 that Wall Street was looking for. AMD CEO Lisa Su noted higher than expected sales of its AI chips and said revenue for its MI300 chips exceeded $1 billion during the quarter, saying the rapid advances in Gen AI are driving demand for more compute in every market, creating significant growth opportunities as they deliver leadership solutions across their businesses. Meanwhile, in terms of some of the other segments, client revenue, which includes PC sales, rose 49% to $1.5 billion. The expectation there was for around 1.4, so that was a beat as well. Gaming revenue, though, definitely a weak spot. It fell 59% year over year and actually missed analyst expectations by a bit. Embedded revenue, which includes some of the products acquired through Xilinx for industrial customers, sunk 41%, but that actually still came in a bit above what analysts were looking for. In terms of the outlook, AMD said it expects about $6.7 billion in sales in the current quarter. Wall Street was looking for $6.61 billion, so that came in better than expected. And then probably most important, which I alluded to at the top, is its AI chip guidance was raised once again. That was expected. They're saying data center GPU revenue will now exceed $4.5 billion in 2024. That's up from the $4 billion that they guided in April. Analysts had said going into this report that AMD would likely be punished if they didn't boost that $4 billion guidance. Cantor Fitzgerald was out with a note saying that they would certainly be punished, especially if it wasn't anywhere close to the $5 billion mark, saying that would actually be the good news. So I think the fact that they're saying exceeded $4.5 billion, still taken as good news. So shares up about 3.3% right now. Should note, still down year to date, down about 3% year to date, and down about 11 or 12% in July alone, but chipping away at those losses.
Caroline, I was just taking a look, and I'm sure you got maybe one or two that stuck out to you, but about 25 or so analysts have now kind of updated things. This is one of the most widely watched stocks, no surprise. Seems about 2-to-1 in favor of buys over holds, no sells. Lowest price target I'm seeing is 140 in the updates, highest at 210. But I got a question for you before that maybe you'll have some insight. Is there a different feeling today on the floor amongst traders? Is there a little bit more confidence that maybe we saw some sort of bottom, or are they still holding their breath when we still got Apple and Amazon and the Fed? Is it not all coasts are clear yet?
Depends who you talk to. I was chatting with Peter Tuchman on Trading 360. He's a big tech bull on the floor today. He thinks it's just the second inning, so he definitely still sees more room to run in terms of the tech trade, but really depends on who you talk to. I think no one really wants to call a bottom or, the great rotation is going to continue and tech has seen the gains. I think that it's much more stock specific around here when I talk to some of the traders. Hard to say. It really depends. I also, keep in mind, talked to Dan Ives earlier today as well. He wasn't on the floor, but he was beaming in, and he's obviously such a big bull as well. So he thinks it's 9 p.m. and the party's going to go till 4 a.m. So and the music won't get turned off. So definitely some bullishness in terms of AMD specifically. Despite the fact that, as Jenny said, it was a good report. They delivered. We did actually see some price target cuts come in after that. I was looking Cantor Fitzgerald, which I had mentioned. They were really looking for the $5 billion plus in guidance, exceeds 4.5. I guess must have disappointed a little bit because the analyst there lowered to 180, but kept an overweight rating. B of A cut to 180 as well. Baird lowered to 175. Truist cut to 156. But we did see some price target hikes as well on the bullish side. BNP Paribas up to 200. Morgan Stanley is in the equal weight camp, up to 178. So all of the price targets implying upside from where it's currently trading. I will say JP Morgan has a $180 price target and was talking about how it's giving Intel a serious run for its money on the server PC side and actually thinks AI chip revenue could hit $5 billion based on the numbers that they reported for Q2, but still kept a neutral rating on shares. And I think the other thing to consider here is something I was talking to George Sillis about on Trading 360 as well, is that valuation definitely comes into play. He pointed out that it was trading at a similar multiple to an NVIDIA and obviously doesn't see the same pace of growth that NVIDIA has been, really blowing past all of its competitors with. So I think that, there's certainly still some concerns, whether it be valuation, whether it be CPU exposure, whether it be some growth concerns. But overall, a good day for AMD and a good day for chip stocks overall.
Yeah, and to your point, NVIDIA ripping up 11% and not showing any signs of weakening here as AMD actually looks more lackluster, and it's on the back of their own earnings. I mean, that just is what's so wild about the overall NVIDIA hype, as we're seeing this nice recovery today. So we'll say some cautious optimism on the day for AMD, but great insight as always. Caroline Wood, Senior Markets Correspondent for the network.